Hello, I hope you're doing great. Today, we are going to talk about how to create AI assistants using Blazor. Now, before we continue, please remember to visit our GitHub sponsors page or profile and select a donation of your preference. You can select one-time donations and you can also select monthly tiers donations, right? And on the monthly tiers donations, you will be able to select some specific tiers which will give you access to some special repositories. So, what does the application do? The application will actually listen for commands or instructions and will process that we are saying and give us some output, right? So let's see what it does. Give me a second. So I'll load the application. Tell me what is the meaning of the number 42.
The number 42 is a popular cultural reference thanks to Douglas Adams' book The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where it is famously described as the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything. However, in reality, 42 is just a number with no inherent meaning beyond its mathematical value.
What is the formula for gravity?
The formula for gravity is given by Newton's law of universal gravitation. F equals G asterisk, M1 asterisk M2, slash R caret 2. Where F is the force of gravity. G is the gravitational constant, 6.674 asterisk 10 caret dash 11 N asterisk, M slash kg, caret 2. M1 and M2 are the masses of the two objects attracting each other, and R is the distance between the centers of the two objects. This formula describes the attractive force between two objects with mass due to gravity.
Okay, as you saw, basically what the application does is it listens for what the user is saying, and then it is sending that or converting that into text and sending that text to the Azure OpenAI service, right? And then once it gets the response, it will give you an spoken version of that response. So let's see how we did that. Okay, first we are using the Azure OpenAI service, right? We are not going to show you how to create that in this video. For that, we will uh, be recording a new video on how to create a lot of the Azure resources, right? And how to use Azure. Now, we are using a couple of packages. We are using this azure.ai.openai, the blazor.toast, the toolbelt.blazor.speech recognition, and toolbelt.blazor.speech synthesis, right? Some of these are in pre-release, so when you add the packages in Visual Studio, you need to make sure that this include pre-release is actually checked, right? Now, once we have added the packages, one of the things we want to do is we want to start registering all of these services, right? So we registered the Blazor toast. We also register the speech recognition and the speech synthesis. The other thing that we want to do is we want to create a singleton for the OpenAI client, right? And before we are able to do that, we need to get the values from configuration. So we have them in here, right? Is the endpoint property of the completion property of the OpenAI property and the Azure property, right? This is basically a JSON, or you can use environment variables too, right? But I use JSON structure for that one in the JSON file. For security reasons, of course, I am not going to show the keys nor the endpoint, right? Now, this is a Blazor server project, right? And one of the reasons we did this with as a Blazor project is because we want to keep these secrets secret, right? Um, if we had done something like a Blazor WebAssembly and put these secrets in the app settings.json, then that file will be downloaded to the client and the secrets will be publicly exposed, which is not good at all, right? Okay, now a couple of things that we have in here. We have the custom loading indicator, right? The component. This is basically just um, a loading indicator similar to the ones we have used in some of the Fair Play projects, if you have seen the videos, right? And this is basically just a set of bootstrap spinners, right? And with a parameter, with a component parameter is loading, right? And when this is true, the spinners show, otherwise they do not show at all, right? In the main layout at the end of the file, we are setting this Blazor toast, right? And we set the position, the timeout, the icons, right? All of that. Okay, and let's see. In the navigation menu, we deleted most of the template, actually pretty much all of the template links, and we only left the home, right? And in the imports.razor, we added Blazor tools, Blazor tool services, Blazor tools configuration, and my virtual assistant Blazor components, which is this, right? Okay, and now let's go to the code. Index.razor, what are we doing in here? So, of course, we have the default page title that is usually added when you create a page. We have a list group, right? And with a lot of list items, where each list item will print the role and the content. This is done by iterating through the chat messages list, right? Then we have the loading indicator down below, right? Well, at the bottom, right? And we are printing the value of the error variable if there is any error at all, right? So we are injecting in here a couple of services, right? The speech recognition, the speech synthesis, the OpenAI client, and the service, right? We create the error variable, right? And we initialize the list of chat messages, right? We want to have a default value, which is of type role, and we are getting it or sending or setting the default prompt or the system prompt, right? For the OpenAI service, right? So we also have here this BC variable, right? Now, what are we doing in here? So since this is Blazor server, we have to remember that JavaScript code cannot be executed when we are running on this server. So one of the things that we have to do is basically make sure that everything is already initialized, right? So we override the on after render async, so we know that there has already been a first rendering of the page. We we ask if it is the first time it was rendered, and if it was the first time rendered, we initialize um, or even handlers, and we initialize the speech recognition, and we set this to continuous, right? This is basically so we don't have to press a button to listen or something like that. It will just keep listening unless we stop it. So now we go to the on, on speech recognize event, right? And the on speech recognize event, in here, one of the things we want to do is we want to stop listening, right? Why? Because one of the things this method is doing, it is uh, outputting the responses to the default or to the set configured speaker, right? If you have your headsets, it will go to the headsets, and if you have the speakers, it will go to the speakers. When you are using the speakers, the problem is that if you don't stop listening, it will continue listening to what the application is saying, and you will pretty much fall into an infinite loop, right? And we don't want to do that. We want to stop listening while the system is telling us or outputting that spoken audio based on the response, right? So we set this BC value to true, right? So that we see the spinner. We set the error to empty so we can clear everything, right? We invoke the state has changed, so the rendering happens and the change in components are reflected, right? Then we iterate through all of the results of the speech recognition event, right? We get the most accurate transcript. Actually, we could have only do um, we could have selected this, right? But at once, but we did this iterating, right? The most accurate transcript, we can use the confidence, right? So we basically order by descending confidence, and we just get the first element and get the transcript for that, right? Right? So then we add that transcript to the list of chat messages that we have in the code, right? This chat message will be of type user because this is what we as users are actually saying, right? Or requesting. And of course the text, right? We invoke this state has changed so that we can see that change reflected in the UI, right? Now we initialize the chat completion options, and chat completion options is a class for the OpenAI service, right? Then we iterate through all of the list of chat messages, and we add those messages to the chat completion options variable. This chat completion options variable is the one we are going to send to the OpenAI service, right? Now we invoke this get chat completions async of the OpenAI client, right? We pass the name of our deployed model, right? Along with the chat completion options that we have in here. These completion options will have everything we have sent and received until now, including the latest message that we just received from the speech recognition, right? So basically the latest transcript of the audio, um, of this audio we set, right? Things we set. Now, this response will have a value property with a set of choices, right? So we iterate through all of those choices, right? And we add those choices to the chat message variable, right? Or list, right? This will be of type assistant because that's what those are from the results of the OpenAI service, right? So we set it to role assistant and we set the content, right? Then for each of those, we add the state has changed, so it's immediately reflected, right? And then for each of those, we also add that content to the speakers, and that's what we were listening to when the application was running, right? After the system had given us a response, right? Then we add the usual event handlers, right? I'm sorry, the usual exception handler, right? And we will also input an error or send an error to the speech synthesis service so we can listen to that audio too. Now, something really important, remember that one of the things that we did in here was stopping the speech recognition, right? So we need to start it again. So in here we have the event handler for the utterance ended, right? Where we said that this busy is equals false, and this is for the spinners to stop showing, right? But you see that in here we also set or invoke the start async of the speech recognition. This is so after the computer or the application has finished with the text, right, or giving us the audible response, we need to ask it to start listening to us again so we can continue using the application normally, right? I hope this has been useful. See, it's really easy to do this kind of applications with Blazor. It's just a page, right, with not a lot of code, right? And it is already really useful. Thank you very much and have a great day. Remember to fund all of our projects in GitHub sponsors.